Veronica Taylor, probably best known for playing Ash on Pokemon, and you're watching PokeCollection.
Hello Veronica.
Hi.
Welcome back to New Zealand. You've been here a few times.
Yeah,
it's lovely to have you back.
Thank you.
Now, yesterday you said that it's quite chilly here, and you said you actually preferred it over LA weather. How does it compare right now? Is it quite hot over there?
Oh, it's much hotter. Actually, what would it be? Like maybe 26, 27?
Right.
And so now we're down to 10 today here, so it's a lot
I
hotter.
actually prefer the cold, I think, as well.
Well, I used to live in New York, and we just moved, so this year we missed the winter, so we're kind of happy to be back in the winter for a little bit.
Right, excellent.
No snow, but it's still been good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I just have to take a moment and actually say thank you for sitting down with us today, because this moment right here is actually quite surreal for me personally. Having grown up with Pokemon, I'm sure my crew can vouch for this. I don't fanboy very often, but me trying to contain myself is a real struggle at the moment. So if I mumble, which I tend to do,
if you start crying,
if I start, I might start crying. If I do that, I'm going to be the most unprofessional
I'm with
person.
you all the way.
Yeah, but,
it's okay.
But I apologise if I stutter along the way.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But thank you for coming. And,
it's really my pleasure. Thank you.
So Ash Ketchum, of course, you're very well known for that. And in some cases, it was possibly your breakout role. Are you able to highlight how the audition process was for you? Was that the first role that you did, or did you was that a result of previous auditions as well?
No, I worked on a couple other shows before that. I was working on Slayers at the time, and the company that was doing Slayers got Pokemon, so that's the main reason I was called in to audition. I remember we got to see like a clip of the original Pokemon, and then they wanted the voices to sound somewhat similar. So I auditioned, I got called back probably who knows how many times, called back several times, and then I was cast as Ash, and then they decided they might go a different way and use an actual child, and then they cast me again, and then it went back and forth, and so I never really knew if I had the role. Probably by the end of the first season, I knew I had it.
Right, fantastic. And you've obviously voiced other characters such as Delia, Ash's mum, and May. Where did you find the source for each sort of voice that you like? What cemented you in those particular voices?
Well, you know, as an actor, especially with anime, the choices are not usually yours. Most of them are determined by what the original voice sounded like, what the producers want, what the director kind of has imagined. Coming up with the voices with that show in particular, they had you listen to the original voice for the audition. For the show, we didn't normally listen to the original. We just kind of went along and did it. So cemented, I don't know, I think it just all kind of came together, and I don't know if it ever felt cemented, but it was all kind of a work in progress. Like a lot of people point out, Ash's voice kind of changed in the first season because when I was auditioning, everyone knew what they didn't want the voice to sound like, but not necessarily what they wanted it to sound like. And so that kind of morphed its way into what Ash ended up being, let's say, by the end of the first season.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I actually do remember you. It does change a little bit.
Yeah, it was kind of a little more stuffy, maybe. He was, Mom, he was kind of in here, and then it allowed to kind of drop back, and then probably by the end, he was a little bit more here, a little deeper maybe, and goofy.
We spoke with Eric Stewart as well, actually, the voice of Brock, obviously. He said his sort of changed. I think James changed quite a bit from serious to very, very humorous, obviously.
Yeah, and that a lot had to do with the writing, and I think the show was allowed to come into its own after the first season.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of didn't know where they were with the anime. Obviously, it's completely new at the time, so obviously you developed it and refined it.
Right. And the show, I think, was finding itself too. Like in the first episode, all of us starting to watch it, we didn't know where this thing was going. And then so we all, in that sense, we're all on the journey together the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've seen some of your panels, quite a few panels actually, but in the States and everything. And I know you've mentioned a few times that the mention of Pokemon, obviously you've encounter it all the time. Gets you going a little. I'm sure it gets us going a little as well.
Yeah.
What do you miss the most out of like your experience
being on the show? You know, playing Ash for 8 years was tremendous, and it makes me sad that the show goes on without us, the whole cast. I loved being a 10-year-old boy when I went to work. I loved the character of Ash. I learned a lot playing him. He was so positive, and I didn't really realize the power of positivity so much before I played that. So I do miss that. As an actor, I miss working, you know, on a show every day. Not every day, but, you know, every week, basically.
Absolutely.
But, you know, 8 years is a pretty good run.
It's a very good run.
Yeah.
And congratulations for that. And you've got so much under your belt as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, so we spoke to Eric Stewart about that period of time where obviously when the changes started happening. To me, it was a shock, obviously, because I actually stopped watching it for a bit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the voice actors changed until I think it was before this channel opened, actually.
Oh yeah.
And so for me that was a bit of a disappointment, and I spoke to him and he was a bit candid with the explanation. He shed a bit of light on what happened. What was it like, the atmosphere, like what was going on during that period? Like, was it very quick or?
Oh no, it was pretty quick.
It was pretty quick.
We thought we were getting ready to do the 10th anniversary special, and I think that whatever materials had come into the office, and we were about to start on that, and then we were told that we were no longer needed, that replacements had been found. So even before you. We didn't do the 10th anniversary special, so they said we found replacements for that. We're not going to be using you, and after the season you'll be finished. So that's from Pokémon USA, when they took the show from 4Kids.
It almost seems very cold as well. So you obviously must have felt so bummed out from that.
It was really sad, really sad.
Oh, no.
And sad for a while afterwards. It's been a few years, but still sad.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the show hasn't been the same without you guys. I suppose.
Thanks.
Told Eric Stewart, and when we realised, because I keep up with the show obviously, but every time we hear voice on the original anime, you kind of realise what's changed quite significantly.
It's just different. I think the heart of the show is different now.
Absolutely.
And it's hard when you are called in to replace people who've worked on a show for so long. It's hard to make it your own, and but I honestly don't watch the show much because I find it too hard to put such familiar faces with such different voices. It's just it's too much for me.
Absolutely.
I'm not mature enough to handle it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I can fully understand. Yeah. So you've done Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Slayers and everything. What sort of is there anything outside of the Pokemon franchise that you've particularly enjoyed the most, that's given you the most experience? Or
other shows? Well, definitely working on Ninja Turtles. I mean, that's April is such an iconic role. So that was an amazing experience to kind of fill in those shoes, or that jumpsuit, as we say, although she didn't wear a jumpsuit. That was a great experience, and Sue Blue directed that from Los Angeles. She would phone in, and we all got to record in the booth at the same time, which, working with such fantastic people, it was amazing. I've worked on a lot of other shows that as an actor, I love to work. I love the challenge, and I love to work. So what I work on, I tend to really throw myself into.
Yeah.
Right now I do a lot of different cartoons. I do audiobooks where I get to play all the roles, commercials, things like that. Everything I really try to invest in.
Right.
So I don't know that I have a favorite. Slayers was an amazing anime that was the craziest thing I've ever worked on.
Oh, fantastic. That's awesome. So I saw one of your panels in the US. I was chuckling away. I think it was Anime Boston in 2009. And you mentioned the odd relationships that the characters had in the Pokemon series. So we had Ash's mum, and then there's Professor Oak. Were there any other peculiar little themes that you sort of thought, and what on earth were they thinking?
I think also looking at the show through Ash's eyes, there's everything you can accept because that's just what's going on. I mean, the fact that you've got these kids on the road with nothing but a backpack, maybe a spare pair of underwear, and no money.
Yeah.
They've got this guy who's, I don't know, Brock's 14 maybe?
Or
12, maybe he's a tall 12. I don't know, but they're off on this journey. I guess Misty was probably 10 also.
Yeah.
So
I think they're still 10.
Yeah, well, they are, certainly are. But you have to
Nice.
suspend all disbelief and just go on the journey as well.
And it's fun, and like you said before, for me it's a very positive thing. I'm 26 now. Started watching it when I was 10 or 11.
Right.
But there's that there's an innocence in the show, and it's really positive. It actually just takes you away, and you just want to be in La La Land for a while.
I think so too.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
So your voice is incredibly iconic as Ash. Now, was there any particular attack move that you could say over and over again?
Well, don't you think it's odd that constantly Ash would be like, Pikachu, Thunder Shock, Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt,
Thunderbolt, always.
So did you get sick of that, or would you just...
Well, I did find it funny.
Yeah.
And it didn't always work, so you would think maybe he would go with something else, but no,
They
otherwise...
stuck with the same sort of thing, didn't they?
Yeah.
And we know on that note as well, we know that Pikachu is one of your favourite Pokemon.
Sure.
So our mascot is Spinda over here.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm
sure you've heard of that. It's cool, right?
Yeah.
It was a bit gutted that was your favourite Pokemon. So I was just hoping that you could give it a hug, just to make up for it.
You know, I love all Pokemon almost equally, with Pikachu being the top.
Fair enough.
Like.
Excellent. I'm sure it's happy now. It's
so
alive
cute.
To us. Fantastic. Oh, we've got a fan question before we let you go.
All right, I can see you carrying that with you. Yeah.
I carry it all the time. My fiance's
jealous.
Even know what, jealous. There. Yeah. We'll stick with that. Okay, so we got a fan question from Nicholas Peters in the US.
Okay.
He asks, is there a chance that you think the original voices will ever return, and will you ever return if so?
If I were asked to return, I would, definitely. I don't know, it's been a long time. They certainly have known where I was all this time, so honestly, I don't know. I don't know the reason why we were replaced, so I don't know how they would ever fix that. But certainly I miss the show so much, and if there were a chance to go back, I would.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I have managed to keep my cool.
Yes, you have. You've been great.
But before you go, I didn't want you to leave without a gift from us personally. We've got you something today for something in New Zealand, something for you to keep. A little badge from us and a little contact details. So if you ever come back, if you want to ever go out for dinner or anything, we'll love to take you.
All right.
Absolutely.
We're going to Zealandia tonight for the night walk, so we might eat kiwi. Just joking. Shall I open it?
It's up to you. You can wait for it. You can always social media later and let us know. It's up to you entirely.
Let me open it now, and then I can also pretend like I opened it later.
Okay, sure.
This is really nice of you.
All right, no worries. I couldn't let you go without anything from me personally.
Well, thank you.
You've been definitely part of my childhood, and in more ways than I can probably explain without completely
breaking down. Well, this means a lot to me too, and coming back to New Zealand after so long, it's one of my favorite places to be. New Zealand and Ireland are so similar to me, and kind of the land that I love, and it's just, I feel like I'm home here, and seeing so many people that I saw years ago, it's just, I feel like I'm with family, so thank you.
It's your second home. You're welcome back anytime, and we'd love to
thank
see you again.
All right, I'm opening it up still. Okay. I'll get the pin that fell. Now I'm going faster. This is so nice of you.
That's all right, no problem.
You really wrapped it well, though, or did your fiance do that too?
To be honest, I didn't actually wrap it.
Really?
I was like, I didn't have time to wrap it this morning, but they probably did better than I did.
Wow! That's so neat. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we hope to see a kiwi tonight.
Kiwi. Oh, awesome!
Yeah?
I hope you do. Yeah, they're very, very rare, but very nice.
Yeah, we saw a stuffed one at Ngumanu. Is that the name of the Ngumanu?
I'm actually not sure. I've been here 12 years and I still can't pronounce some of the names.
It's just outside of Wellington.
Oh, right,
it's a nature reserve, which is amazing, a bird sanctuary, and there were some taxidermy kiwis there, and I think there were some live ones, but they were sleeping. So
right, fantastic. Oh well,
anyway.
It's my first time in Wellington anyway, so.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Well, you got to get up to Zealandia to
definitely.
Take the walk.
Definitely.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for meeting me.
Oh, you're welcome. It really means a lot to me.
You guys are the coolest.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure we can't beat your coolness.
I'll hold those for you for a moment.